When Emily Carter, moved to Denver, Colorado after college, I thought I had left behind all the messy ties of my past. I was determined to start fresh. New job, new apartment, new circle of friends. I had landed a marketing position at a mid-sized firm downtown, and for the first time, life felt like it was moving in the right direction. But as fate would have it, the past has a funny way of creeping back into the present, sometimes in the most unexpected ways. It all started at a Friday night gathering organized by one of my colleagues, Jenna. She had invited the whole department to her place for a casual get-together. Her living room buzzed with laughter, music, and the sound of glasses clinking. I was mingling comfortably, sipping a sparkling water, when my coworker David leaned toward me during a conversation. He had been asking if I was dating anyone, and in a careless moment, I laughed and said, "Oh, well, my ex still has a hold on me." It was meant to be a light-hearted joke, something to brush off the conversation. I didn't think much of it. But as the words left my mouth, the room seemed to grow quieter, or maybe it was just in my head. I regretted saying it almost instantly, but I laughed it off and moved on. To my relief, David chuckled, and the conversation shifted. Still, a strange unease settled in my chest. The thing is, my ex, Ryan Mitchell, really had been someone who left a mark on me. We had dated for almost 4 years in college back in Chicago. Ryan was charming, spontaneous, and had a way of making me feel like I was the only person in the world when he looked at me. But he was also reckless, inconsistent, and had a tendency to disappear emotionally when things got tough. Our breakup was painful, messy, and final, or so I thought. That night, as I walked back to my apartment, I couldn't shake the weight of my own joke. Why had I said that? Why did Ryan still linger in my mind like a shadow? I shook my head and told myself it was nothing, but life was about to prove me wrong. A week later, I was sitting in a cafe near my office, catching up on some notes before a client meeting. That's when I heard it, his voice. That familiar deep tone that I hadn't heard in nearly 3 years. My heart froze before I even looked up. "Emily." I glanced up, and there he was, Ryan Mitchell, standing by the counter, holding a coffee cup, staring at me with those piercing green eyes I used to know so well. For a moment, the world tilted. It felt surreal, like my offhand joke had summoned him back into my life. He walked over, smiling, and it was the same smile that had once made my heart skip. "What are you doing here?" I managed to ask, my voice unsteady. "I moved to Denver a few months ago," he said casually, as if this were the most natural coincidence. "Didn't think I'd run into you, though." We ended up talking for a while, catching up in that cautious way exes do. He had gotten into real estate, seemed more grounded, more polished. But there was still something about him, the unpredictable charm, that made me uneasy. Later that night, when I told Jenna about running into Ryan, she raised her brows. "So maybe your little joke was more true than you thought, huh?" she teased. Her words stung, though she didn't mean them to. I didn't want Ryan to still have a hold on me, but maybe he did. Over the next few weeks, Ryan started showing up more in my life. At first, it felt coincidental. I'd see him at the same cafe, or he'd wave when passing my office building. Then, he asked if I wanted to grab lunch, just to catch up. Against my better judgment, I agreed. Lunch turned into dinner, and soon I found myself spending more time with him. I told myself it was harmless, just 2 old friends reconnecting. But inside, I knew it wasn't that simple. Every time Ryan smiled, every time he told a funny story, part of me slipped back into old patterns. I hated myself for it. One evening, I had dinner with David, yes, the same coworker who had laughed at my ex still has a hold joke. He and I had been hanging out more, and I could tell he was interested in something deeper. Over pasta and conversation, he finally said, "Emily, I like being around you. I don't know where you stand, but I'd like to take you out properly." My heart should have leapt. David was kind, steady, genuine. All the things Ryan wasn't. But instead of feeling excited, I froze. Ryan's ghost hovered in the back of my mind. I smiled at David and told him I'd think about it, but inside, I felt torn. The breaking point came 2 weeks later. Ryan had invited me to a rooftop party one of his real estate colleagues was hosting. The view of the city was dazzling, the music lively, and Ryan was his charismatic self, introducing me to everyone as if we had never broken up. At one point, he leaned close to me and said, we were always good together. Maybe we should give it another shot. The words sent a chill through me. A part of me wanted to believe him. But then I remembered the nights of waiting for him to call, the promises he had broken, the way I had cried alone after our fights. Nothing about those memories was good. I excused myself and went out to the balcony, taking deep breaths of the cool night air. That's when my phone buzzed. It was a text from David. Hope you're having a good night. Just wanted to say I'm thinking of you. Something inside me shifted. I realized then how much Ryan really did still have a hold on me, but not in the way I had thought. His presence reminded me of old pain, not love. He was a weight I had been carrying, a shadow that kept me from seeing the people who truly valued me in the present. I went back inside, found Ryan, and told him calmly, "Ryan, I can't do this. We had our time, and it ended for a reason. I don't want to go back." He looked surprised, then a little frustrated, but he didn't fight me. Maybe he knew I was finally serious. Walking away from that party felt like breaking invisible chains. For the first time in years, I felt free. A few days later, I texted David and asked if he still wanted to go on that proper date. His enthusiastic yes made me smile in a way Ryan never could. Looking back, I realized my careless joke at Jenna's party had come true in a strange way. Ryan still had a hold on me, but not because I loved him, because I hadn't let myself move on. Once I recognized that, I was able to let go. Life in Denver kept moving, but now it moved lighter, brighter. And though I sometimes wondered what might have been if Ryan and I had worked out, I didn't regret letting him go. What I regretted was not realizing sooner that freedom comes when you stop letting the past dictate your present. And that was the last time I ever joked about Ryan having a hold on me. Because the truth was, he didn't anymore.